Ever wondered why the rich keep getting richer? It's because they have a lot of assets. Assets put money in your pocket while liabilities take money out. The more assets you have making money for you, the richer you become. Simple as that. With that said, here are 15 assets that are making the rich even richer. 1. Money. Money is simple. You put it in the bank and it earns a bit of interest. The problem is, nowadays, bank interest rates don't keep up with inflation, so your money doesn't grow much. But having cash saved up is still important. For example, Apple has over $150 billion in cash reserves. But why do the rich keep so much cash? 2 reasons. First, opportunities. Imagine finding the business deal of your dreams but not having the money to invest. That would suck, right? Having cash on hand lets you seize opportunities when they arise. Second, direct deals. With cash in hand, you can negotiate better prices or lend money at high interest rates. This is called peer-to-peer lending. You lend your money to others and they pay you back with interest. Banks offer less than 1% interest, but with peer-to-peer lending, you can earn between 7% and 20%. Just be careful. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Always think carefully before investing. 2. Real estate. Real estate is fantastic and we love investing in it. It has 2 big advantages. First, rent. When you own a house, apartment, or building, you can rent it out to others. This means you get money every month with minimal work. And if you're smart, you can use technology to rent short-term, like on Airbnb, and earn even more. Second, appreciation. More and more people need places to live, which means property values tend to go up over time. So, besides earning money from rent, the property itself becomes more valuable. There are different types of real estate you can invest in. Residential, like houses or apartments where people live. Commercial, like buildings where businesses operate. And land, which you can develop or simply wait for it to appreciate. But be careful. The house you live in is not an asset, it's a liability. Why? Because it costs money to maintain and doesn't put more money in your pocket. Let me know in the comments if you didn't know this and thought your house was an asset. 3. Equipment. Equipment is anything that helps you make money faster or actually makes money for you. For example, if you're a farmer, a tractor is an important asset. If you're a programmer, your laptop is an asset. If you're an Uber driver, your car is an asset. The idea is simple. If something helps you make money, it's an asset. But if it's not helping you make money, it might be a liability. Many people confuse the two. They buy expensive things like a new car and try to justify it as an asset when it's really a liability because it's not generating more money for them. The rule is, if what you bought isn't directly related to your work and isn't helping you make more money, it's probably a liability. For example, did you know that your headphones can be equipment to help you make money? Few people know this yet, so pay attention. American neuroscientist Dr. Paul Winters recently revealed a surprising secret to wealth attraction. And according to these leaked CIA documents, it's not what you think. It has nothing to do with owning a business, learning a skill, or the law of attraction. It's a microscopic brainwave that sits dormant in the mind. Neuroscientists found that this brainwave sits dormant in the brains of 99% of the American population. However, this brainwave attracts non-stop wealth to anyone who successfully activates it. For the last few centuries, those who've known about this brainwave relied on hours of meditation to activate it. But thanks to Dr. Winter's money song, you can activate this brainwave and start attracting wealth into your life in 7 seconds or less. All that's required is a pair of headphones in the comfort of your home. It already helped over 366 men and women attract lump sums of money without an ounce of effort. If the thought of attracting wealth effortlessly using your mind sounds interesting, you can listen to the money wave by clicking the link in the first pinned comment below. Now let's move on to the 4th asset. 4. Bonds. Bonds are like loans you make to the government or companies. Here's how it works. They need money and sell bonds to interested people. When you buy a bond, you're basically lending your money, and in return, they promise to pay you a fixed amount of money every month. Bonds have an expiration date, which can vary from 1 month to 30 years. Bonds are super safe because they're usually backed by the government. And you probably know that in business, low risk means low reward. Bonds usually offer an annual return of about 3%, which is better than most banks offer, but not exciting for beginner investors. When the bond matures, the principal amount is returned to you. You can buy bonds directly from the Treasury Department or through a brokerage. Let's move on to the fifth asset, but before that, if this content is useful to you, don't forget to leave a like on the video. 5. Stocks. Stocks are a way for you to own a part of a company. It's not as complicated as it seems in Wall Street movies. Basically, when you buy a stock, you're buying a small piece of that company. For example, if a company issues 10 million shares and you buy 1 million of those shares, you own 10% of that company. This is amazing because it allows ordinary people to own parts of some of the world's most profitable companies with very low entry costs. You don't need to be rich to start investing in stocks. It's an accessible way to benefit from the growth and success of these companies. Let me know in the comments if you already invest in stocks or if you want to learn how to do it. 6. Mutual and index funds. Mutual and index funds are smart ways to invest in multiple companies at once instead of buying stocks from one company at a time. Here's how it works. Instead of you picking a single company to invest in, you buy a part of a fund that invests in many companies at the same time. This is great because it spreads your risk and makes your investment safer. Index funds, in particular, are known for their good performance over time. They gather the best performing companies, and when a company is no longer one of the best, it is replaced by a better one. For example, the S&P 500 is an index fund that includes the 500 best performing companies. Over the past 90 years, the S&P 500 has had an average annual return of about 9.8%. This means that, on average, your investment would grow almost 10% per year. Some of the most popular index funds are the Fidelity Zero Large Cap Index, the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF, the SPDR S&P 500 ETF Trust, the iShares Core S&P 500 ETF, and the Schwab S&P 500 Index Fund. Among these, our top pick is Vanguard. Index funds are an excellent addition to any portfolio for those looking to build long-term wealth. 7. Information. Information is one of the most powerful and scalable assets you can have. When you create something informative like a book, a song, a digital course, or any other type of content, you can sell it repeatedly without having to make a new one each time. For example, if you write a book, you can sell it millions of times without needing to write it again. The same goes for digital courses and songs. A great example of this is Psy's Gangnam Style. He made over $10 million from that song just by distributing it via YouTube and iTunes. Another famous example is Mariah Carey, who earns about $500,000 every year from her song All I Want for Christmas. That song alone has already made her over $60 million to date. The beauty of information is that once created, you just need to promote it to reach more people. It's a type of asset that can keep generating money indefinitely, as long as people continue to buy or consume your content. That's why investing time and effort in creating something informative and valuable can be one of the most effective ways to build long-term wealth. And to keep learning how to build wealth, subscribe to the channel and don't miss the next content that will make a big difference in your financial life. Let's move on to the 8th asset. 8. People. People are one of the most valuable assets a company can have. Often we don't realize how important someone is until they leave. Companies are not just buildings and machines. They are made up of people who have ideas, innovate, and drive the business forward. For example, Apple nearly went bankrupt when Steve Jobs left and only recovered when he returned. This shows how a single person can make a huge difference. Additionally, companies often buy startups not just for the product, but to bring talented people into the company. This is called an acquisition by hiring. Hiring the right people can enrich a company. Ideally, no one in an organization should be irreplaceable. But the harder it is to replace someone, the more valuable that asset becomes. If you want to be one of the most valuable assets in your company, you need to become indispensable by bringing innovative ideas and standing out in what you do. Moreover, successful companies know they need to take good care of their employees because happy and motivated people work better and generate more value. Investing in the right people and keeping them motivated is one of the secrets to the success of any business. 9. Patents. Patents are legal protections you get when you invent something new. Think of it this way: you had a brilliant idea and created something amazing. To ensure no one steals that idea, you register a patent. This means that if someone wants to use your invention, they have to pay you for it. And if they use it without your permission, you can sue them. Patents are super powerful in the business world because they can be worth a lot of money. For example, some of the best inventions are protected by patents and generate fortunes for their inventors. Remember the Slinky? That toy spring generated over $3 billion in sales. There are many other examples, like the Rubik's Cube and even simple inventions you see on TV. Having a patent can turn your invention into a gold mine. Before we move on to the next asset, I noticed you haven't liked the video yet. This is important to support the channel and help this video reach more people. So leave a like and let's move on to the 10th asset. 10. Trademarks. Trademarks protect symbols, words, or phrases that identify a product or company. Think of famous logos or slogans that you always associate with a specific brand. These elements are protected by trademarks to ensure no one else can use them without permission. If you have a valuable trademark, you can make money by licensing it to other people for commercial use. For example, Michael Buffer, a famous announcer, trademarked the phrase, "Let's get ready to rumble," in 1992. Every time that phrase is used in a commercial context, he gets paid. To date, he has earned over $400 million just from that phrase. Trademarks can be local or international, but enforcing them globally can be challenging. Companies in China, for example, often ignore intellectual property rights, which can be frustrating. Still, a valuable trademark can be an incredibly valuable asset if it has market value and can be licensed to generate income. 11. Brand and goodwill. Brand and goodwill are important concepts for any business. A brand is the impression a company leaves in people's minds. It's how the company presents itself and what it represents. Goodwill, on the other hand, is the affection and loyalty people have for that brand. Having a strong brand is fundamental. For example, a simple t-shirt might cost a few dollars, but if it has the Disney logo on it, it can be worth much more. That's because the Disney brand adds value to the product. Goodwill is built through positive actions by the company, such as good customer service, positive impact on the community, and overall customer satisfaction with the company. These concepts are valuable because they can significantly increase the value of a business. Strong brands can sell products at higher prices and retain customers. Goodwill can save companies from bankruptcy because people have a strong desire to see the company continue. A great example is the Kardashian family. When Kim or Kylie put their name on a product, it sells like crazy. Not necessarily because the product is better, but because of the strength of their brand. Having a strong brand and goodwill can transform a business and make it prosper, becoming one of the most valuable assets a company can have. And for you to prosper here on the channel, I will share the secrets of the greatest mentors in finance and business. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next videos. Now, let's move on to the next asset. 12. Raw materials and commodities. Raw materials and commodities are basic products that can be bought, sold, and traded in the market. These items include things like gold, oil, wheat, and other natural resources. The price of raw materials and commodities varies with market demand and supply. If you're smart, you can buy these items when they're cheap and sell them when they're in high demand, making money from the difference. For example, gold is a raw material that has appreciated significantly in recent years. In the last 15 years, the price of gold has increased by over 200%. Rich people like to invest in gold because it is a safe and reliable asset. Another interesting example is art and luxury cars. Although many people don't think about it, art has outperformed the S&P 500 over the last 20 years. That's why we see wealthy people spending fortunes on artworks and vintage cars, which appreciate over time. However, it's important to remember that you should only invest in things you really understand. Never invest your money in something just because you heard it is profitable. Knowledge is power, and understanding well where you are putting your money is crucial to succeeding in investments. 13. Royalties. Royalties are payments you receive for the use of your intellectual property, such as books, music, movies, and inventions. Think of it as getting paid repeatedly for something you created once. For example, if you wrote a book and a movie studio wants to make a film based on it, they will pay you an initial amount and a portion of the movie's profits. This is called royalties. A famous example is the TV series Friends. The main cast still earns between $1 million and $20 million per year from the series reruns, even years after it ended. This happens because the series became so popular that it is broadcast on various channels worldwide. And each time that happens, the actors receive a share of the profits. Royalties are also common in music. George Lucas, for example, became a billionaire largely due to the royalties from the films and products related to Star Wars. When he made the first movie, instead of accepting a large upfront payment, he negotiated to keep the licensing and merchandising rights. This ended up being extremely lucrative as the toys and merchandise related to Star Wars generated billions of dollars over the years. So, if you create something that people love and want to use or see repeatedly, you can make money from royalties for many years. It's a powerful way to turn your creativity into a constant source of income. 14. Exclusive rights. Exclusive rights are special advantages that some people or groups have and can be very valuable. These rights can come from specific laws, special licenses, or even unique geographic locations. An example in the United States is the Indian Gaming Regulatory Act, which gives Native Americans the exclusive right to operate casinos on their lands. This creates a huge business opportunity because competition is limited by law. Another example is churches, which are often exempt from paying taxes. This can make their operations more lucrative because they don't have the same tax burden as other organizations. Additionally, certain rights or licenses can provide a competitive advantage. For example, a company that gets an exclusive license to sell a product in a particular region can dominate that market without direct competition. These exclusive rights can be incredibly valuable assets because they provide an advantage that other companies or individuals do not have. Having access to exclusive rights can create unique and highly lucrative business opportunities. It's a way to ensure you have less competition and more control over a specific market, which can lead to significant financial gains. 15. First mover advantage and proprietary business models. First mover advantage and proprietary business models are innovative ways to create value and make money. When you're the first to do something new and successful, you have an advantage over everyone else who tries to copy it later. For example, Apple was a pioneer with the App Store, creating a whole new market for apps. This gave Apple a huge competitive advantage, allowing them to capture a large part of the market before others entered. Another example is Netflix, which started as a DVD delivery service and then evolved into streaming movies and series. They innovated in how people consume entertainment and therefore dominated the market for many years. Proprietary business models are unique ways of operating that give the company an advantage competitors can't easily copy. An example of this is the microtransaction business model in games where players can buy small items within the game. Companies like Zynga and Supercell use this model to generate enormous revenues. Innovations like these can be seen in many sectors. Airbnb changed the way people rent short-term accommodations, challenging the traditional hotel industry. The same happened with Uber in the transportation industry, introducing a new business model that revolutionized the taxi market. The key is to find a new and better way to do something and be the first to put it into practice. This can create a significant advantage, allowing you to capture the market and build a strong position before competitors realize the potential. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss more content like this and increase your chances of getting rich. See you in the next video.